So, every year, the Indian government drops this absolutely massive financial plan called the Union Budget. It's just packed with trillions of rupees and super complex policies. But what does it all really mean for the country? Well, that's what we're here to do. We're going to break down the 2026 budget and find out.
All right, so with a document this huge, where do you even start? You start with the single most important number, the one that kind of sets the stage for everything else.
And here it is, the big one. The grand total for the 2026 budget is over 53 trillion rupees. Now, just to wrap your head around that, a trillion is a 1 with 12 zeros after it. This isn't just some abstract figure. It's the total amount of money the government plans to spend in 1 year. It's the financial blueprint for the entire nation.
And that's the real question, isn't it? A number that big is honestly hard to even imagine. So the best way to understand it is to follow the money. Let's see exactly where it's all going, because that's what really shows us the nation's top priorities.
Okay, so let's get into it. How does that 53 trillion rupee pie get sliced up? By looking at where the money goes, we get a super clear picture of what the government is focusing on for the year ahead.
This chart tells a pretty clear story right off the bat. The Ministry of Finance gets the biggest chunk, which makes sense. It handles the country's core financial duties, like paying interest on debt and sending money to the states. Right behind it, you've got defense, which tells you national security is a huge priority. And then there's road transport, a massive investment in infrastructure, which is all about fueling economic growth.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because we see a crucial detail. The spending is split into two types. Think of revenue spending as the day-to-day running costs, salaries, subsidies, keeping the lights on. But capital spending, that's the long-term investment. That's building things, roads, bridges, new tech. And you can see it right there. Ministries like road transport and railways have enormous capital budgets. That is literally nation building in numbers.
Okay, so we've seen the big picture stuff: finance, security, infrastructure. But let's zoom in a bit and see how this budget actually affects people on the ground. We're going to focus on one supercritical sector: agriculture and farmers' welfare.
So here's the number for the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare, over 1.4 trillion rupees. It's a huge amount of money, dedicated to supporting what is truly the backbone of the Indian economy. But what does it actually pay for?
Let's get into the specifics. How does that big number actually turn into real support for farmers? Well, it happens through a few key flagship government schemes. This is where policy becomes reality.
A massive chunk of that agriculture budget goes right here, to PM Kisan. This one's pretty simple. It's a direct cash transfer. The money goes straight from the government into a farmer's bank account. The whole idea is to give them a basic financial cushion for their farming and family needs.
Next up, crop insurance. I mean, farming is an incredibly risky business, right? One bad monsoon, a pest outbreak, it can be devastating. That's where this scheme comes in. It's basically a financial safety net, offering insurance so that one bad season doesn't completely wipe a farmer out.
And this one's all about playing the long game. The Agriculture Infrastructure Fund isn't about immediate cash in hand. It's about building for the future. We're talking about financing things like modern warehouses and cold storage facilities. This helps cut down on waste and helps farmers get a much better price for their crops.
Okay, so we just did a deep dive into agriculture. Now let's pull back out again, because the budget isn't just about a few big areas. It funds an absolutely incredible range of national ambitions, sometimes in fields that seem worlds apart.
I love this comparison because it shows you just how wide-ranging the priorities are. On one hand, you've got over 24,000 crore rupees for atomic energy. We're talking cutting-edge nuclear research and power. And on the other hand, you've got almost 4,500 crore for the Ministry of Ayush, which promotes traditional medicine like Ayurveda and yoga. Two completely different worlds, both considered national priorities, both funded from the same national wallet.
All right, we've waded through a lot of massive numbers. So what's the bottom line? If you're going to remember just a few things from the 2026 Union Budget, what should they be?
When you boil it all down, it really comes down to four main pillars. First, there's the core job of just managing the country's finances. Second, a huge and continued emphasis on national security. Third, this massive, powerful push for infrastructure growth to keep the economy humming. And fourth, a deep, clear commitment to farmer welfare, with both direct cash support and long-term investments.
So, in the end, a budget is so much more than just numbers on a page. It's a statement of a country's intent, its ambitions. It's a roadmap. The numbers are set and the plan is written. But the real story, the one that truly matters, is how this all plays out on the ground and the impact it has on the lives of over 1 billion people.